So today we're going to move on to our next type of factoring, which is factor by grouping. It says to factor by grouping, look for the GCF. Remember that means greatest common factor for all four terms. So all of these you're going to have four terms. So then you're going to find the greatest common factor for two terms at a time. So let's look at our example. 2x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 3. So we're going to start by putting parentheses. We're going to group them. So we're going to group the first two together. And then this is a plus, so we're going to leave a plus. And then we're going to group the last two together, 3x plus 3. Now, we're going to look for the greatest common factor. So we're going to look at this first set of parentheses. So our greatest common factor, we're going to start with our numbers, so 2 and 2. So our greatest common factor would be 2. And they both have the variable x, so the smallest one would be x. Then we'll put our parentheses, so two terms. So now we'll divide 2x squared divided by 2x, so that will give us 1. And then x squared divided by x would give us x, because remember you're subtracting your exponents. Plus, divide the second one, 2x divided by 2x is a positive, that's why we put the plus there. And that would give us 1. X divided by x, so no x's left there. Okay, and then here we have a plus, so we're going to bring down plus, and we're going to look at the last two. So we're going to need a greatest common factor, and then two terms, so two terms inside our parentheses. So the greatest common factor of 3x and 3, so 3 and 3 is going to be 3, and it's just 3. The first term has an x, but the second one doesn't. So the first blank here, so 3x divided by 3 will give us 1, and we still have an x there. And then the second term here, 3 divided by 3 would be positive 1. Now if you look, what's in the set of parentheses on both of these is the same. And that should happen every single time. If you don't get the same thing in each set of parentheses, that means you're doing something incorrectly. So to write our final answer, we're going to bring down what's in the parentheses, which is a 1x plus 1. Then we're going to put another set of parentheses right beside it, and we're going to put what's in front of them. So in front of the first set of parentheses, we have a 2x. And then in front of the second set of parentheses, we have a plus 3. And there's our final answer. Okay, so let's look at the second example. We have c squared plus cd minus ce minus de. So we're going to start by grouping. So we're going to group the first two. So parentheses c squared plus cd. And then notice this is a minus, so I'm going to put a minus. And then we'll group the last two, ce minus de. Now, if you want to, you can put 1s in front of all of these, because we don't have any numbers. So this means our coefficient would be 1 on all of them. So let's start with the first two. We'll do the greatest common factor for the first two, and then a set of parentheses, two terms, two blanks. So greatest common factor for 1c squared and 1cd. So we'll start with 1 and 1, so that's just going to give us 1. They both have the variable c, so we'll put a c, and the smallest c would just be c to the first, so we'll just leave that c, and then that would be it for the greatest common factor. So first blank, so first term, 1c squared divided by a greatest common factor of 1c. So 1 divided by 1 is 1. Subtract the c's, c squared minus just a plain c would give us plain c. Then we'll go to the second term, so second term divided by the greatest common factor. So 1 divided by 1 will give us 1 again, and that's a positive, so I'm going to put a plus. The c's cancel out, and we would still have a d left. Okay, and then we have a minus here, so we're going to put a minus or a negative sign. Greatest common factor, two terms, two blanks. So greatest common factor for 1CE and 1DE, so definitely a 1, and then they both have the variable e. So first term, take the first term, divide it by the greatest common factor. So now notice this 1, our greatest common factor, is a negative 1. So we have a negative 1 divided by a negative 1 would be 1, but we also have this c, we're going to have to bring down. E divided by e, that cancels out. Then we'll go to the second one. So we'll have negative 1 divided by a negative 1. That's going to give us a positive 1. We could have put a 1 with the c as well. Bring down a d. E divided by e's, the e's cancel out. So now notice our parentheses are the same. That's what should happen. So since they're the same, we're going to bring down one set of parentheses, 1c plus 1d. Then we're going to put another set of parentheses right beside it, and we'll put what's in front of those. So in the first set, we have a 1c. In front of the second set, we have a minus 1e. This will be our final answer. Okay, let's look at example 3. So 9a squared plus 3ab minus 3ab minus b squared. So we're going to start by grouping. So we'll put parentheses around the first two, 9a squared plus 3ab. And then we'll put it around the last two. That's a minus, so I'm going to put a minus here. 3ab minus b squared. So let's look at the first two. 9a squared plus 3ab, the first set of parentheses. So greatest common factor, and then we have two terms, so two blanks. So greatest common factor for 9 and 3 is going to be 3. And they both have the variable a, and that's it. So first term, so take the first term divided by your greatest common factor. 9 divided by 3 is 3. A squared divided by a, so you'll subtract the exponent, so 2 minus 1, that will give us 1a. Then we'll go to the second one. So 3ab divided by 3a, so 3 divided by 3 would be positive 1. A divided by a, the a's cancel, but we still have a b left. Then we're going to go to the second set of parentheses. We have a minus or a negative, so we'll bring that down. Greatest common factor, two terms, two blanks. So I'm going to put a 1 in front of this b squared here. So greatest common factor for 3 and 1 is going to give us a 1, and they both have a variable b. So we're going to use this as negative 3 divided by negative 1 will give us positive 3. We still have an a, and our b's would cancel. B divided by b, that goes away. Then our second term here, negative 1b squared divided by negative 1b. So a negative divided by a negative is a positive 1. Subtract our b's. 2 minus 1 would give us 1b. Okay, notice our parentheses are the same. That's what should always happen. If you don't get the same thing in your parentheses, you're doing something incorrectly. So to write our answer, we'll write down what's in the parentheses one time. So 3a plus 1b. Then we're going to put a second set of parentheses right beside it, and what's in front of each set of parentheses. So in front of the red one is a 3a, in front of the blue one is a minus 1b. That's our final answer. Okay, last example. Why don't you pause the video, try this one on your own, see what you get, and then come back and watch it. So we have 2r squared plus 4rs plus 2rs plus 4s squared. So we're going to start by grouping it. So we're going to group the first two together. So 2r squared plus 4rs. We have a plus. So plus, group the last two. 2rs plus 4s squared. Okay, so let's look at the first two. So we have 2r squared plus 4rs, and we're going to take the greatest common factor of that, and then we'd have two terms, so two blanks. So the greatest common factor for 2 and 4 would be 2. They both have a variable r, so we'll take the smallest one, which is a plain r. So now we'll take the first term, divide it by your greatest common factor. So 2 divided by 2 would give us 1. Subtract your r's. R squared minus r will leave us 1r. And then the second term, 4rs divided by 2r. So 4 divided by 2 would give us 2. And since that's a positive 2, we'll put plus 2. The r's will cancel, and that will leave us an s. Now let's go to the last two. And this is a plus, so we'll bring down a plus. Blank for your greatest common factor, and then parentheses, two terms, two blanks. So greatest common factor for 2 and 4, once again, would be 2. They both have the variable s, so the smallest one, which is a plain s. Now, first term, so 2rs divided by the greatest common factor, 2s. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. We have an r, the s's would cancel out. And then second term, so 4s squared divided by 2s. So 4 divided by 2 would be 2, and positive 2, so we'll put a plus 2. Subtract your x's, s's. S squared divided by s would give us 1s. Okay, if we look, we have the same set of parentheses, which is what we wanted. So we'll write that down one time for our answer. Then we'll put a second set of parentheses right beside it. And then we'll put down what's in front of each set of parentheses. So in front of the red one, we have 2r. In front of the blue one, we have plus 2s. This is our final answer.